We are now joined by one of the stars, the standouts of this Texas women's program, Brady Sanders. Mrs. Energy for this Texas team. I try to host shows with the energy that you play basketball with, game in and game out. If you were wired up, though, how do you think that episode would go? Just you, a microphone, playing basketball.
Oh, I think that would be probably entertaining, but some of the things probably couldn't be aired on all of it.
We'd have some bleeps.
Maybe a little, not too many. I'm usually pretty positive, but during the heat of the moment, I could get pretty intense. So.
Yeah, we see that. What sets you off?
In a bad way or good way?
Both. How about that?
Good way would just be maybe one of my teammates getting an and one, someone making a good pass, a great finish, someone knocking down a three. I usually get more excited for my teammates than I really do for myself. So really just any type of good play. Oh, a defensive charge. That's
That's kind of your bread and butter, is it not?
That's one of my go-tos. That's one of my go-tos for sure. But things that might be bad would probably be, miscommunication on defense, offensive misexecution, those sort of things when I know that I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what my teammates know what they're supposed to do. And so someone on the team has to be the one to not call people out, but, just a kind of a enforcer of certain things that we know we're supposed to be doing.
So this is making sense because you are a communications major, are you not?
Yes.
So what led you in that path? I mean, it seems obvious. You are pretty vocal.
Yeah, I'm vocal. I like talking. And honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do coming into college, but a lot of people were like, oh, public relations, communications, like those are things that everyone thinks you would be really successful in. And so starting those classes and just really getting into it, it is something that I'm really passionate about. So I'm excited to see where that takes me.
What is crisis management PR?
Really just having to work on your feet, you have problems that corporations, big companies face, and you have to be able to think quickly and find solutions for them.
What drove you to that particular aspect of communications?
I think it just kind of relates to basketball, you have to face a lot of adversity and you have to be able to think on your feet and overcome. Say you make a bad pass, you got to think quick and how can you get the ball back on defense, that sort of thing. So I like it because it's not boring, it's never going to be the same thing. You're probably never going to have the same problem more than once, well, at least hopefully not if you're doing your job right, but it's just something that will keep me on my toes.
How competitive would you say you are in these communication classes?
I have to be very competitive. You would think, oh, kids in school, sometimes they aren't that competitive unless the business school has that reputation of being so competitive. But you'd be surprised at how competitive some of the PR students are. So I definitely
how does it get? Give me an example. How are you competitive as a PR student?
It's so we have a bunch of readings and that sort of thing. And if you don't come to class prepared and knowing the material, if you can't contribute,
you get called out.
Yes, exactly. If you're not contributing, you're going to get called out. Not even by your teachers alone, but
by Brady Sanders.
Well, I try not to be that person in class, but sometimes, I have to. I got to let them know that I'm not just a basketball player. I'm pretty smart too.
Well, in the hair. It's become the staple. Looks very nice. It's a beautiful look. What kind of red would you say this is, by the way?
I have no clue. My sister's a hairstylist, and so she gave me colors that were supposed to be like a brown, subtle red.
Okay.
And I went with that for a little while, but then I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just so boring. And so
boring.
Yeah, I went to the hair store and literally mixed 5 different reds together.
Wow.
And this is what it came out as.
See, I'm trying to figure out, the roots, it almost looks like they're orange. Is that just the lights, or is that something intentional?
No,
it almost fades. Does it not?
It does fade, and it's not intentional. It's a little something called hot roots.
Hot roots.
Yes. And so
I know hot route, but
yeah, no, a little hot roots. And so it's because my hair is actually blonde.
Yeah.
And so when my roots come in, the color takes differently on that part of it.
I'm learning so much.
So that's why it's kind of different colors all throughout. But my parents really don't like it so much.
Come on.
I think it's fun.
I approve. Let's go
you.
back though with your notable hairstyles. Let's start with 2011. Tell us what the motivation was for this look.
I couldn't decide if I should be blonde or brown, so I'm like, oh, best of both worlds, So that's one of my actually favorite hairstyles.
But see, I see this, and it doesn't look complete without the neck brace, unfortunately.
Yes.
That's how I first saw you. And then 2012, we're not as wavy. So what's going on here?
Well, actually, I had extensions in that picture.
Oh, so you cheated?
I did cheat.
Okay.
Because, I mean, extensions are great, you know? You can have short hair, you can have long hair. It's like best of both worlds.
I need to check that out. 2013. Why are you laughing? This is like the most traditional conservative look there is. Mm-hmm. And you don't like it?
No, I liked it for like a couple days, but then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so boring. And so actually there is where you could see a couple highlights coming in.
Oh man. And then bam! We're still kind of fading a little bit.
Yes. And so then that's when like the ombre was like super trendy, super
The what?
new. Ombre.
What are we talking about?
That's where it goes from the brown to blonde. And it's supposed to look natural. Like usually it's like a dirty blonde into a lighter blonde.
Yeah.
But I'm not, that's too boring. And
Again.
so my sister hooked me up with that hairstyle.
So what is it called? Hot root.
Hot roots.
Need to get some hot roots. Brady, as always, entertaining, very educational. I feel like I can start styling hair as well. Probably not. We got more on game plan. Maybe we can do that with Coach Aston for the season finale. You need some hot roots. Clicker coming up.